Hello, Ron Briggs, Blackmore Vale Honey, and welcome back to the channel. What we're going to be doing in this episode is cleaning poly. Standalone episode. It's not part of any of the series, but it's just a lot of people have been asking me how I clean my polys, so I thought I'd do a standalone video. So you'll have noticed that I'm on nationals, so all my hives are nationals, wooden and poly. And I don't recommend having different hives unless you really want to, because of all the different parts and components you need. So I've just said I've got polys and wooden, which is different, but all the frames are the same. They're national, so all my frames and foundation fit in all my hives. And I keep having this going backwards and forwards. Do I prefer wooden? Do I prefer poly? I prefer wooden because they're cheap to maintain. Scrape them, torch them, and you're good to go. And I can make parts for my nationals. So I make my floors for my wooden, should I say. I make my floors, I make my crown boards, I make my eaves, I make my roofs, which saves me money. And also I know that cleaning with scorching kills just about everything. So I like the wooden from that point of view. But I also like the poly, because the poly has got extremely good insulation value. And all my hives do well in poly. There's no doubt in the fact that overwintered nukes in poly are definitely the way forward. And the poly hives I've got. So I've got a bit of a mixture of both. But the problem I've always had with poly is how to clean it. Because you can't scrape it, because the knife or whatever, well, you can to some degree, but the knife or the scraper gets dug in the poly, it doesn't like it. And it's difficult to clean because you can't scorch it. So year before last, I can't remember what it is. I watched a YouTube video of somebody cleaning poly, and it's a game changer. And it's what I do now. So I clean it using bleach, and that's what I'm about to show you. So let me start out by saying that this bleach that we use is really strong. It's what they use to clean swimming pools, and I'll show you what it is in a moment. So if you're using bleach, you definitely need to think about your personal protection, in so much because it'll splash. It will splash. So you need old clothes, you need goggles, and you need gloves, but the chemical type gloves. You need a pair of gloves, and you also really need to keep it in a secure area, away from dogs and pets and things, because this stuff's going to probably be out for a week, 10 days, where I swap the bits over in it. So that's why I'm up in this area now. It's what we call our allotment. It's got a greenhouse, a couple of beds for growing. We bring plants on and stuff, but it's secure, keeps the dogs out. So we're doing it in here, and let me show you what we've got and what we need. So the first thing you need is a container big enough to fit the stuff in. And this is something I've still not got right yet. So I was using a large old oil barrel, plastic oil barrel. It was food grade, it had food in it. I was using that, but that wastes so much space because it's round. It doesn't fit the boxes exactly. So then I managed to come across one, and actually it was a friend of mine give it. It's half a water butt. That one's perfect because it does fit a box in, but ideally I'd like it twice the height so I could fit 2 boxes in and then put a poly in the middle. And then I bought these. I bought 2 of these, which are those WAM box, 92 litres. Of course I got the measurements, but it just, well, you'll see when I put it in, it just about works. But unfortunately it's perfect at the top, but then it tapers, so the stuff doesn't get all the way to the bottom. So again, wasting water and stuff, although there is other smaller stuff you can put in the bottom. So what I ideally need is a box just a little bit, or even if that was the same length all the way down, it'd be perfect. Or maybe double the size. I'd get 2 in. I don't need an IBC. It's too big for me. I've got loads of stuff, but it's just a bit too big. So what I've got is I've got the 3, and I put my stuff in and I leave it in for 24 hours, take it out, put more in, take it out, put more in. How many times it can go through the solution, I don't know. I just do all my equipment, and I've never not, the equipment's never not come out clean, so I'd imagine you can do it for quite a long time. And then you also have to think about disposal, because don't forget that you can't just put this stuff down the drains, so you have to think about where you're going to get rid of it as well. So over to the water. And the other thing is with poly, it floats, so you need a means of keeping it down, whether that be bricks or bits of wood or anything else. So what I've done over here with the old oil, not oil, the old water tank, is I've used 3 broomsticks which hold it down, and there's just a little bit of timber over the top, just to hold it down. Actually, you can see it moving, you see it floating, but that won't float anymore. And you'll notice there's wood in there as well, because it will clean wood, it bleaches wood, so it's really good for cleaning up old frames as well. So if you get to later in the season and you don't want to use your steamer because it attracts all the bees, then yeah, you can clean your frames in there, and it's good for utilising the space. So that's what we do in there. In here, it's pretty much full with what we do. So usually a couple of those cam buckle straps. So I get it up, because there's only 2 pieces in there till it's floating. I put the lid on, push the lid down, put my knee on it, and use the cam buckle straps, which you will see. Right, so I think that's all the equipment. You might have spotted the spirit level out there, because it is worth getting your boxes level to start with. Otherwise, you'll get water one end and one end doesn't quite get done. Because the idea, well, you can use a much smaller container if you've not got many, and do half and then turn it over and do the second half, and you'll certainly see the difference when it comes out, when it goes in dirty and when it comes out clean. And I'll get a quick video of how dirty it is before it goes in. So this is the bleach that I use. I think this is last year's. This was left over from last year, which is why it's pink. I think it's faded. It's normally like that. But if you look, it's sodium hypochlorite, 14 to 15%. Yeah. Okay, that's the stuff you need. Now, like I said, this is the stuff they use to clean swimming pools and things. So it really is strong. It's not like your household bleach. I think your household bleach is something like 3%, something like this. I think it's about 5 times stronger, this. So yeah, you can get it from Amazon, places like that. I buy mine in a 4-pack from there. It's not cheap. It's over £30 for 4, but the results make it worthwhile. And then the mix that you want is 5 to 1. So it's 5 parts water to 1 part of this, and this is 5 litres. So it's 25 litres of water to 5 litres of that. All right. Okay, let's get some poured out. So I've got my old clothes on, got all that. So you're supposed to mix it up. So the best way I found is to put some water in first, a little bit of water, then put your bleach in, and then by pouring the rest of the water in, agitates it enough without having to stir it. So just pour it in really carefully. It's the neat stuff. Make sure you've got nothing loose in your top pockets, or you will lose it in the bleach. Your mobile phone to drop in there. So even though this looks a little bit bigger, this water butt, because the actual bottom part of it is smaller, believe it or not, that is will take 1 lot, so that will take 30 litres, 25 litres of water, 5 litres of that's done. But these other ones, to fill them up, they take 2. So same thing, it's just going to need 2 lots of bleach in there. And you are probably already aware of it. If you pour oil or anything out of these type containers and you pour them that way round, then the air struggles to get in, and that's when you get the glugging and the splashing and everything else. But it's a bit awkward to try and pour it like that to start with. So when you pour, if you pour it gently to start with, and then when it's going, you turn it around and pour it that way, it's much easier for the air to get in, and you don't get so much glugging and splashing. So if I pour it in this way around to start with, you get glugging and splashing, which way you've got to go gentle. If I turn it around and pour it upwards, yeah, that's no glugging at all. And then what we do for the 5 litres, I do is there's still some bleach in there. Right, and that's ready to go. Let me turn you around and show you that. There you go, look, that's that one full, and you want it just full enough just so that it covers everything. So even though I've got these, looks like a football table, doesn't it? One of those ones where you spin the men around to play football, table football. Even though I've got those in, still float a little bit. So all I've done is just put a little piece of timber up just to hold it down. So you want that floating. And remember I told you about these. These were my planter trays, which we use for all sorts of things. Well, that fits over there nicely. And in here, this one was a little bit more tricky because last year I used a ratchet strap. Those are so it's easier with a ratchet strap than it is with the cam straps, because even now, look, they're still, and you want it down. When it comes to this roof, I'm not so bothered. It's a newer roof that stuck out, because that doesn't get the propolis and stuff on, but it still needs cleaning. So what we'll do, we'll just put the lid on this one, and then we'll ratchet strap that up. But we will use ratchet straps instead of cam buckles. So that's it. So all I've got to do then is get the middle one sorted, and then we'll come back in the morning and I'll show you what they look like. Morning, beautiful morning, if not a bit chilly. So this is my routine now. I think that you can put these in for 4, 5, 6 hours or whatever and take them out and they're done. I like to give them 24. So, and it just helps me get into a routine. So what I do is I get up, I take the dogs for a walk, I come home, I take out what's been in there, put another lot in, and then that's done till the next morning. So let's have a look, see how they get on. So goggles, gloves. Right, so there are going to be some bits that are stuck still on there. So a little wire brush, little scraper, old one. Just take those, because now they've been through the system, they will be really easy to remove. It just falls off this little bee bit. So that's all what we put in yesterday's out. So what I'll do is I'll load it up again, then we get the hose pipe out and just wash down what we've just taken out, and then I'll show you the difference. Okay, and there we have it. That's what they look like before and after. Those bellow boxes clean up really nicely, and I think it's because the poly is that kind of smoother, more solid, so you can scrape it a little bit easier than you can the rest. But I think Look. Side by side. That's pretty cool. So there we go. Right, let's get the next lot in. Okay, so we've this has been going through the system now, so a lot of what I have been cleaning hasn't been too bad. It's been a kind of little bit like that, not really that dirty, but whilst the solution's going, it's always worth cleaning it. So I just wanted to take the opportunity. I'm going to clean these two today. This one, look, and that one, and then tomorrow when we pull them out, you can see just how clean we get the older dirty ones. So there we are then. That was those two boxes I showed you yesterday before they went into the solution, and I think you'll agree they come out really clean. These bits would come even cleaner, and you could put them back in again if you wanted to. It's just that's where the other box has been sat on top of it in the solution. So yeah, the reason for the difference of colour is that's a Maysmore and that's a BS honeybees. That's the only difference. Both really good nukes, both do what they do. The top, you can get the extensions for the Maysmore which fit on the BS honeybees, so really good. On balance I would prefer the BS honeybees just because it's got that bit more flexibility with you can have the two hives in it, but both work. So that's how clean that solution gets. So yeah, that's just about it. So that's what we do. We stack all our polys up, we put it through the solution. Once it's been through the solution, it comes out. You've seen how clean it gets. We give it a thoroughly good wash and rinse, and I mean really good. You want to get all that bleach off. Its area is a secure area, so the dog can't get in. And then once we've taken it out of there, depending on what the weather's doing, I'll leave it on the wall here for a few hours just to dry, and then I take it round to the undercover area, just in case it rains. It just allows it to dry again, but I leave it over here again at least another 24 hours just to air off, get the rest of the bleach off, and that's it. That's how we get our polys clean. So there we are then. That completes that episode of cleaning up the polys, and I hope you got something from that. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming along on the journey, and we will see you on the next one.